Next up, we've got Michael Keaton and Billie Eilish by the numbers. First up, Fox News interviewed by Brett Baer or Alec Baldwin. Very surprising to see him come up first, but I gave this a W.
Yeah, I gave it a W. Baldwin's got someone has his back at SNL.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that they did those like tosses to clips. Those clips were still live, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, that was good.
Michael Keaton monologue. There wasn't much here, but at least Andy got the BJ on SNL. I gave it the L though.
I loved the crack about Sarah's outfit.
Yep,
I gave it
so
an
good.
L though.
Yeah, overall. Great bumper though.
Yeah.
Now we got Shop TV Halloween cookies. Filthy and wonderful W.
Loved it. I want to know how many phone calls they had with Standards to decide what they
to
could
do
and
the
could
icing
not
shot
do.
that we're gonna see. Yeah. There it is. TVMA.
Yeah.
That might have been a legal requirement in addition to a joke. And then we got Please Don't Destroy. Welcome to season 50. Please Don't Destroy.
They're finally here.
They're finally here. This was a good one, and I think it's the first time they've played themselves. Or
Maybe.
they haven't played themselves.
Right,
Excuse
they
me.
haven't. Yeah. Every other time they're just in their office.
Right, it always starts there, and then something crazy happens. But, very interesting one to start their season. Forbidden Romance. This, a lot of people were saying this on Twitter. Didn't realize how crazy that song is until it was put in this context.
Yeah, you got to listen to those lyrics, and then you're like, oh.
Yep. And boy did we.
Yes.
More on the end of this sketch later. Just remind me.
Okay.
TikTok. I think the earlier versions of this had a better overarching story, so this one got the L from me.
Yeah, I gave this L. I didn't like the earlier ones that much either. It feels a little bit like a filler.
Yeah.
But out of the ones they've done, this one was not my favorite. I also gave it an L.
Yeah, okay, now we got Billie Eilish, both performances. There was more rough audio trouble on the live version of this broadcast, but the opposite of Stevie Nicks, where I could almost not hear Billie at all.
That kind of happens on her.
Visually, yeah, true. Visually, she always brings it, so I did like it.
Yeah, Billie's great. She's always good on SNL.
Yeah. We can update the jokes. Great bits in here, and I like that the National No Bra Day is recurring at this point.
Yes, that is
like,
good.
It's such a bad joke, but it makes me giggle. It's
that
so
candle bit that Michael did, that got the W for me, just all on its own.
Yeah. Very good. And now we got the commentary. Emil and Sarah Sherman. The Emil one I wasn't sure about. It was pretty rough, and it was rough in the room.
Yeah, I don't know that was the right crowd to do that to. But I'm hoping he takes another crack at it at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. We can talk about that more later. Think About It, the Uber game show. When Ego's got a crazy voice or a wild temper, I'm seated.
I'm just like, let Ego do her thing. I'm gonna love it.
Yep, perfect. No notes. Horror choreographer, our last sketch of the evening. I didn't have a lot of strong feelings here, but I love when the host is down to do something a little crazy. And that's what happened.
Really had Mikey as the star of this one. The movement of his body was just
absolutely.
like mesmerizing to me.
He'd be
what
popping
is he
that
doing?
booty. Yeah. I'm sorry, this is the last sketch of the evening. Tableside guac. I could take or leave this one, but Heidi yelling at Ashley Padilla towards the end was funny. It was good.
That was good. I gave
Landed
this one.
The plane.
Yeah, I gave this one a tie just because there wasn't anything that stuck out enough for me to make it a
Yeah,
W.
so Michael Keaton, Billie Eilish gets 9 wins, 2 losses, 1 tie, which is I understand it, but I wouldn't say it's consistent with my feelings overall on the episode.
Yeah.
Just interesting to see the way the totals shook out. Like the Nate Bargatze episode was probably my favorite of the season so far.
Yeah.
And that's at 10 wins. So
right.
We're working out how this rubric is
Maybe
really
we need to
work.
be a little harsher.
But it's possible. But yeah, so let me go back to Forbidden Romance. So at the end of Forbidden Romance, in the live copy of that episode, someone shouts something long after the applause dies down after Forbidden Romance, and I'm like, what just happened? And then there's like a little bit more applause. He said, Dismukes! Just some guy in the crowd shouting out Andrew Dismukes because he led so hard in that sketch, thanking him for his efforts. And then there was like another little surge of applause. But I thought that was kind of cool.
That's nice. That's sweet for Andrew.
Yeah. It happened well into the TikTok roll too. So it was like, what? Someone's just shouting? Like, what's going on? Yeah. One more time? But what else were we talking about that I found really... Oh, yeah, Emil Joachim. So I am almost positive that this has to be a stand-up bit.
It is. I saw a video of him doing it at the Comedy Cellar.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so yeah, this is like something he's had on the back burner for a while. And I know that Leslie Jones... did you ever see... There was a documentary they produced for the 40th season called Live from New York.
I don't know if I ever watched the documentary.
And you can't find it anywhere, but it was pretty good. It follows an instance that I feel matches this pretty closely, where Leslie Jones had done an old stand-up bit of hers. She auditioned with it about like it was her dating struggles and how like if she, as Leslie Jones, had lived in the time of slavery, it would have been ultimately better for her. This is what the bit was. And she talks to a camera in that documentary at the end of it, and she was just like, it played well in the room, and she was just beaming. She's just looking at the camera, and specifically she goes like, I wrote that bit in a moment of pain, like 10 years ago. And to see it get that sort of reaction in this crowd, she was extremely proud in that moment. But Twitter did not agree.
Yeah. Unsurprisingly.
It was a lot for people to take and kind of ruin the experience for her. Yeah. It was like her big first Weekend Update piece. And so that was the first thing I thought of, except for the fact that like this one really didn't go well in the room.
Yeah.
There was I heard someone like go, ooh, like he didn't boo necessarily. He just kind of was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
like
it
a
maybe
pain
was
response.
Just not the right crowd for that.
I also, it might not have been the right time.
Yeah.
It's still such a sensitive situation in with the Palestinian like fight that it didn't feel like the right time. I think that particular part of it was more to be criticized than the part where he was talking about, discovering oneself in a situation of turmoil like that. I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was something about like LGBT representation and feeling like, and I agree with what he was talking about there. It's a bit of a luxury that we have in a time and place of peace to get to reflect on oneself, to and learn things and self-acceptance and stuff like that when your life and livelihood and country is in danger. You don't have the time to necessarily or the space mentally to reflect on those kinds of things.
Right.
And I think that's what he was saying.
Yeah.
But people did take that and was like, oh, he's saying that LGBT people don't exist in the Middle East, and which is like absolutely not true.
No, that unsurprisingly,
but just
people
not
on
a lot
the internet took things out of context and
yeah, what do you know? So huge mixed bag with Emil Joachim, but like especially with the way I remember Leslie Jones talking about that moment in the interview, that was what I thought of first. I was like, oh man, his first big direct to camera thing.
Yeah, I'm hoping that he tries stand-up update again, because that works for a lot of people, and I don't know when he'll do it, but I hope that he takes another crack at it.
Yeah, it's actually something that I don't know if it was. I think it was Chris Rock talked about, like, he wasn't getting a lot of sketches on. I don't remember where I heard him discuss this. It might have been the SNL book. This one right here. I have it right here.
Oh yeah.
He has an interview in there where he was like struggling to get his sketches on, but he was like, "This isn't my genre.
Yeah.
This is tough." And I think he had a conversation with Lorne, and Lorne was the one that told him, bring something to update.
Right.
That's a 2-minute stand-up set right there. And you're looking straight down the camera, your name's on screen. You can like make a name for yourself just doing that. And a lot of people have followed that playbook ever since. Like Pete Davidson is the one that comes to mind most recently.
That was kind of Pete's whole thing. I don't know that he really ever did many sketches where he wasn't just a side character,
Yeah.
His thing was mostly stand-up.
Yeah, it's a blueprint that works. Sarah Sherman does a lot on the Weekend Update desk as herself. I don't mind it at all. You can leave the characters to Heidi and Ego and people who just do that. So yeah, I would hope to see Emil try that again soon.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think it's like a deal breaker for anybody.
Right.